So going back to an old bit, as Jim likes to call them, going with which is better. I thought about this one, and I don't know. It's not necessarily controversial. I think it's just very, very opinion based. But platformers, what do you think they're better on? A 2D scale or a 3D scale? Now, obviously, 2D I think needs no introduction. Just basically think half the library for the NES and a good decent for Super NES and Sega Genesis. And 3D, I guess, probably best example would be the N64. Maybe I would assume
they had a lot. Don't quite hold up as well, but yeah.
I'm sure 2D. Obviously, I'll say right off the bat, 2D there is a lot more. So we're not talking quantity. I'm saying from a standpoint of when you've actually played, which ones do you like better? So I'll let you go first with this one, Jim.
I think this is a genre that always worked better in 2D, and if I had to give one specific reason why, it's because of the camera. Like, some games have a perfectly fine camera in 3D platformers, but there's always going to be weird kind of problems with depth perception and everything like that. 2D, it's just so much easier to make more precise kind of controlling and playing games, so I gotta go 2D. Not to say there aren't 3D platformers that I like, because there's a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, it's a genre that's just always been better on 2D. It's the same reason you don't have a lot of, like, 3D shmup games, because it just works better on a 2D plane. Even if you put 3D, or if it's 2.5D, even that's fine. As long as it's on a 2D plane, that's when it works the best.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty unanimous. I mean, I definitely agree with Jim. 2D is better. You know what it is, though? I do think you get... The only thing I'll say for 3D, the ones that do it right, and there's not... And honestly, I think...
Do.
Thank you, Jim. There's probably not a ton that do it great, but the ones that do, when you are able to execute like a crazy jump or something, I feel like no 2D game will equal your sense of accomplishment of getting a platform correct like a 3D one, especially, like you said, because of the camera problems or this or that. So 2D for me definitely wins. It always feels better. But there is something to be said about 3D. I think if they're done right, you definitely can't just have a straight 3D platformer, I feel like, these days. The N64 is probably your best system for that was willing to really use that in a lot of games. But nowadays, I feel like, yeah, you just don't really see it anymore. So,
yeah, I mean, you just had Mario Odyssey, and you'll still have the Tomb Raiders and the Uncharted of the world. So, it's still around, but it's just not as prevalent. Like, you don't have the collectathons anymore, like in the old Rare days, and Ukulele basically bombed. So, you know, you have to keep it modern but you still have to, like, make it work. Yeah. It's kind of weird. There's a fine balance there. Like, you can't just bank on nostalgia anymore, basically.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Snarkcast had a good point. Like, if you want to see what happens with 3D platformers, look what happened to poor Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic was always a stupid... I mean, you base an idea on a guy that moves really fast. There's no way a 3D camera can do it justice for what you expect from a Sonic game. So even no matter how you try to make it look fast and how it was going to work, that was set to fail. Like, that was just a really terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, if you make it overly fast, then the games play themselves, which is my problem with 3D Sonic games. And if you make it slow, then people are going to complain about that, and then you still have the weird control and the homing attack. Yeah, it's a mess for poor Sonic.
Yeah.
Even the good 3D Sonic games aren't that great.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know. I wanted to throw this out there. I had a feeling me and you would agree. I want to see if anyone out there disagrees on some legit reasons. Like, you know, and try not to use, like, if your favorite game in the world is Mario 64. We're not saying, like, what is your favorite. But, like, you know, take the genre as a whole. Which is better, 2D or 3D? So, love to see some comments on that guy.
Yeah, I want to see some hardcore, like, 3D platforming defenders. So, that'd be pretty cool to see. Good luck, but...